And it's Arsenal. Arsenal will say, we're by far the greatest team the world has ever seen. Arsenal 2, United nil. Positives, let's get the ones out of the way, especially with regards to United. They looked very good in the first half. The structure is there. The structure is working. But we just couldn't break them down. There's no but. We just couldn't break them down. One thing we tried over and over again was that Partey ball over the top over to Saka, because we've said it many times. The space in a 3-5-2, 3-4-3, whatever formation is on either side of the three. So what did these guys counter with? They told Malacia, yo, just go back a bit so that we'll basically have a 5. And when they switched to that, we really struggled. But then we had the spaces in midfield, but we just couldn't exploit them. Another thing they did so well was when they were pressing us, when we were pressing them, they beat our press several times in the first half. And they were creating space on our left side. And I was wondering, how is this happening? Because the moment Rice pushes up, there's a gap there. And Zinchenko is not the athlete you would have. If you had Calafiori there and Timber on the right or Ben White on the right, you have more of athletes. So they really took advantage of that. I am impressed by Amorim just seeing like tactical gaps that he can exploit. He still doesn't have the personnel. The team still hasn't really grasped this how he wants to play. So I'm not going to fault him that much. But to be honest, I was impressed in that first half. I really was. Onana is a better shot stopper than I gave him credit for. He's proven that to me this season. This is not the first time. That one chance that we have for Harvard was a clear sign. The game against Ipswich, him against Delap, like Onana is actually a good shot stopper. He's not the gear. Let's just be honest. He's not the gear, but he's really good. Anyway, second half, the inevitable just happened. I think it's about time that whenever you see us taking a set piece, just consider it a corner. And our team is really good in set pieces. You need to underline that with capital letters. Underline?
Should be underlined with capital letter.
We are bad at set pieces, like bad news. We are just dangerous. And we ran that play over and over again. The other thing that shocks me about this Premier League, we have done this thing so many times, and it's like no one has figured out how to stop it. This is one thing that I still don't understand. But the near post one, to just get the tallest guy. After we scored the first goal, after Timber had scored, when they brought in Zagzi, that's what he came in to do. He nullified the near ones when they were coming in and he was at the front. So that's one way of doing it. But not all teams have that one big strong man in the middle. And then it seems like we always keep getting away with these pushes in the D. As long as they're being allowed, I see them. It's just that when it happens to the opponent, we also have to say that us guys are getting away with it. So it needs to apply across the board. Saka takes 6 years to take free kicks. Like by the time we're taking a free kick, like our penalty or a corner penalty, our corner, it's just it takes long. But David Moyes. How? So I've just read a stat that David Moyes had since the start of last season, Arsenal have scored 22 times from corners. Man City 15, Everton 14, Liverpool 14, West Ham 14. So as you can see, Arsenal, Man City, and Liverpool are up there. Obviously, we are 7 more than Man City, but the big teams are also realizing, like when you're playing teams against that are playing a low block, you have to use this as an edge and actually get goals, especially break them down. Because once you get the first goal, that's it. You really just open up the game. I was talking about David Moyes. David Moyes, there's a reason you don't have a job, bro. Like you have been in immense over the years. You've been really good. Especially, I was really a fan of yours during the Everton years when you had James McFadden and James Beattie up front. Like a big fan. The fact that Declan Rice took 19 corners in his West Ham career, in 1.5 seasons at Arsenal, he has taken 90 corners, and he is so good at it. Like, it's not making sense. Literally, it's not making sense. Like, and these are things you see in training. Every time people take set pieces and stuff, the fact that you guys never put him on set pieces shocks me. Like, it really does. I'm quite surprised. He's a big guy, so obviously you want to take him in, like you want to get him in the box. I guess that's the thinking whenever you're playing with someone of that size. But dude, what he gives you, it's just the consistency of delivery. I think the one game, there's a game where his deliveries were so good when he had the assist for Merino. I think it was a Champions League game. I can't remember which game it was. But then, sorry, it wasn't a Champions League game. It was a Premier League game, and he got an assist. But then there was a Champions League game. Literally after that, his deliveries were just so bad. And it's like it's something he has worked on, and that was this season. So it's really good to see. Really, really good to see the delivery quality that's coming from the man. All in all, I can't really complain. Midweek fixture, Gabriel was out of the game, beginning of the game. United still made 6 changes and still looked how they looked. Malacia, sighting, finally playing. He also looked good. Who else? Obviously, Mount started. So United are getting bodies back. Maguire had to come off at some point because I think he's also coming back from injury. Lenny Yoro. I need to speak about Lenny Yoro. Lenny Yoro had 2 beautiful moments. The first one was the one-on-one with Martinelli, just using long legs. Like, the dude has long ass legs. Was it Trossard? It was one of them. And then there was a header that he had, a defensive header that if he didn't win it, like, they were in trouble. So we saw him in the preseason. I had never seen him in Liga, that, just to be honest, but I like the flashes of brilliance. There's the youthful exuberance where he's really trying to rush into tackles. The time Trossard went, cut back, and then faked like he was going to shoot on his right and then cut back on his left. Then Euro was on the floor. Those are things that happen every single time. The only other thing I'd say is one of the biggest issues with this formation they're playing is that now they're having centre backs defend one-on-ones against pacey wingers, and that might be something that teams like Chelsea can really exploit. City will definitely do Madueke and Savinho. Like, that one is a given against these people. So they really need to find that balance. Obviously, it would have been ideal to have Luke Shaw and then Mazraoui playing on either side of the centre back, or like either Luke Shaw and 2 centre backs or Mazraoui and 2 centre backs. So yeah, that's just yeah. I think they were good, honestly, in the first half. But yeah, second half we cornered them. We just cornered them. I'll take the points, especially after Liverpool have dropped points. So beautiful. Yeah, Arsenal 2, United 0. That's my recap, and we will see you on Saturday.